Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon. It's anime.
Yes.
All right.
I'm turning into Brennan in this bitch, man.
I know. I was thinking the
Taking
same
my
thing.
headphones off.
I went for mine too.
Yeah, man.
Y'all getting old in this motherfucker.
Hey, y'all. We're back for the 2020.
Man.
Welcome to another episode of AnimeSHUN. The squad is back. Well, kind of. Myself, Rob,
Hey.
Ice. Ho-ass Brennan ain't here. I don't know where he's
not
at.
here.
What is he doing?
He's in Vegas for CES.
He's in Vegas to CES.
Oh, wow.
All right.
That's lit.
He's
What's
doing,
CES?
it's a consumer electronics show.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brendan's still a hoe. I think we should have a theme song for him. Ludacris, Use a Hoe.
Use
a hoe. Ho! Yeah.
Brendan
we
is
all
a
sing
hoe
these
in
things. Did you sing yours? That's hilarious.
yeah.
Great.
We're back for the 2020. We're glad for y'all to join us in this this new year. This is our first episode for the new year. We're glad y'all hanging with us. Glad from all the fans that been with us from the beginning to now, man, and brand new fans, man. We love to see y'all. Make sure y'all spread the word about the podcast.
Welcome.
This is where we review anime and we talk about just debate topics. We debate some topics. We talk about top 10s, top 5s, best moments. For instance, this episode, we're going to talk about our favorite moments from anime that we watched. So remember that. This is anime that we watched from 2019. So every anime that we watched on the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't be like, well, why y'all didn't mention something? We didn't watch that shit on the podcast, bro. We might have watched it on our separate time. All right. So we're going up what we watched from the podcast. And you know what? Let's just Ice wrote down a nice little list for us. The list is the shows that we watched.
Before we get into that, I just want to state, like, we into the new year, but ain't shit changed. We still the greatest fucking anime podcast in the world.
Right. In the 2020, we're going from now until beyond.
Beyond, little bitch.
So these are moments that are going to come from Tokyo Ghoul we just watched, Villain Saga, Kuroko no Basket, Demon Slayer, Neon Genesis, Goblin Slayer, Gangsta, Megalobox, Trigun, Baki, Trash Gun as I call it.
Fucking trash.
And then Akira, we watched Akira, the Broly movie, and Princess Mononoke, and Mob Psycho.
Only season 1 though.
Only season 1. Yeah, season
all
1.
Of these
All these are season 1.
Yeah,
or the whole thing with Megalobox and Goblin Slayer and Neon Genesis.
Yeah, there will definitely be spoilers in this episode for sure.
So yeah, if you haven't watched any of those shows, turn this off.
Or if you plan to.
Yeah, if you plan to, or if you're like me, you don't give a fuck about spoilers. Listen,
Trash.
and then watch it and still enjoy it
How
because
can you? I don't see how you still enjoy stuff knowing especially if it's a dramatic thing or if it's like gut wrenching thing. Like if I tell you that, how do you still enjoy it?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no. Here's why I still enjoy it because I want it because like I told you before when I would read Dragon Ball Super spoilers, they will give you enough of a spoiler to where you still have to watch to see what the fuck happened and how it happened. So it wasn't like when I was watching spoilers, it wasn't necessarily a full on like it spoiled the whole episode. It was like Vegeta gets a new form and like now the fight gets intensified. So you know something happened and he gets a new form, but it doesn't say what happened. Like how does he get there? How he got pushed to it and stuff. At least the spoilers that I read on that type of stuff. So I was able.
Not even a spoiler.
I mean, kind of.
It's like the Netflix description of like what happens in the episode.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll give a little bit more detail. Like they'll say somebody got kicked off this, like for the Tournament of Power. They'll be like somebody got like Vegeta gets kicked off the stage. You're like, oh shit, that's a spoiler.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That
I was just thinking. I think of spoilers. I mean, like this person died. Like if somebody say,
well,
oh,
I mean, in Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta getting kicked off the Tournament of Power is a spoiler. That's huge.
Yeah,
that was huge.
And it's kind of like a death.
Yeah,
yeah, in that particular sense. So
like
yeah,
I don't know, like Paid in Full or something. If you like, oh, you seen Paid in Full? Or
but I told you before, when it comes to movies, I'm like, don't tell me that shit. Like I get pissed off. But when it comes to anime, for some reason,
that's weird.
I love knowing ahead of time, and then I want to see how it happens. Like if so and so dies, I'll probably be like, fuck it, man. Maybe I should have waited. But now I'm just like, well, we're here now. Let's see how he died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know that doesn't make any sense to most of y'all.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
So
Rob is being nice. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
yeah.
Well, like a movie is like a 2-hour like investment, and like
Yeah.
you spend 2 hours and you already know what's gonna happen. Like when I was like a kid, like a buddy of mine like told me how Shrek ended or whatever. Like, I didn't see that shit for years afterwards because I'm like, what's the point?
What is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
And
Like-
a lot of times too, when it comes to certain things, it's like a movie that I don't like that I kind of want to see, it doesn't bother me. But like I said, when it was like Endgame, when it's like movies that I really, really wanted to see really bad, and if somebody would have said something, I would have been pissed off. Or like, I mean, I haven't watched Power last season, but I got to catch up.
I do too.
So I've avoided somewhat of the
Yeah, me
internet
too.
a good amount of time for Power because
I've
I
been
know
good on Power too, missing stuff like not. You got to fucking maneuver through internet because people just be throwing spoiler memes up like right after the episode goes off, and it's like, God damn.
Internet is like that with a lot of shows.
Oh, they love to do it. They do it on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
They'll watch the East Coast feed to spoil it for the West Coast feed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fucking jerks. But we're gonna get into this. We're gonna give our favorite moments. We're gonna do a top 3, a top 5, so we don't go too long, each.
Mhm.
Okay.
We can do it's a little top 5 moment. Who wants to go first?
Like I said, I had notes and then I didn't bring them, so I'm
Very unrob.
It was not my finest moment. I guess in that regard, I mean, I can just like riff some shit.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rip some shit anyways.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Honestly, like, I think one of my favorite moments is less about like the moment itself in the anime and more what it did for us as a show. I'm gonna say my number 3 moment is the Kato fight in Baki.
Okay. You didn't go where I thought you was gonna go.
No.
but yeah.
I thought you was going to go. I'm engaged.
That was on my list too, because I when I was like Neon Genesis, I was like, our fights and our discussions, I think, were my favorite thing about
Oh,
that
man.
run.
Yeah.
That
But-
carried that whole series.
It really
Oh,
did.
it did. Absolutely did.
But
Kato, yes.
But Kato, like that whole fight, because like, I mean, Baki had some good fights. Like on my list, definitely like Hanayama versus Spec.
Yeah, that-
honorable
yeah,
mention.
yeah,
That's
that
a
was
great
lit.
fight. But like, we laughed so hard about that dude just getting the absolute dog shit kicked out of him.
Man.
And then when they wheeled him up later on, like
Yeah.
against the American, like with the American dude, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"No, this is my son's gonna do this," and he just like stands up and yells at him. He's
He's
like,
like,
"Ah, ah!" Like, dude,
Stop it.
Yeah, he just Kato, like Kato gets my number 3 favorite moment for us on the 2019 animes from Baki.
Hilarious.
So I'll go with that for my number 3 moment.
Okay. My number 3 moment. This isn't necessarily a good moment. This is just a memorable moment, and I feel like this helped boost this series. Not boost the series, but get us along this series. And it was probably one of the most talked about moments that we kind of went back on, which is Goblin Slayer, Goblin Rape.
Mm.
Bro, this shit has never left my head. This-
Yeah, that was a lot.
That shit has been permanently. And I'm not saying, like I said, this is not a favorite moment. This is just a memorable moment because when
Yeah.
this shit happened, I literally never forgot about this shit. Like
Yeah.
it was so impactful and because I mean a lot of anime that I watch, I don't watch a whole bunch of anime where stuff like that happens. Like some
Yeah.
people probably watch anime where like crazy stuff, people get like raped and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's just not the stuff that I'm into, so I don't ever watch that.
Right.
So this shit was pretty visual. It wasn't like
It was intense.
it wasn't like like pulled into a room and then
You
all of a
hear
sudden you
screams.
just knew something happened and then the scene cut. It was like bent over, like it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like goblin hands on like ass cheeks, like
yeah, it was-
gripping it. Like it was bad.
It was
Yeah.
it was absolutely nuts. So
Literally.
oh god, that's terrible.
That is bad.
So yeah, that was my number 3 moment, man, and that was a moment that gave us to talk about where we got a chance to shit on this anime because to me, like this is in our bottom 3 in my opinion when it comes to anime that we watched.
I mean, that's what, like, whenever I talk about, like, when we were watching that show and I was telling people, like, oh, yeah, like, we're doing the show, like, we're watching Goblin Slayer right now, the first thing out of everybody's mouth is just like, so what about that goblin rape in episode 1?
And that was the problem. Episode 1,
They
you didn't-
open with
you
it,
didn't build up with like, all right, these goblins are motherfucking crazy.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I'd have been like, okay, this is gonna lead up to some crazy shit. You opened the fucking show.
They established it. Like, they not nothing to fuck around with. Like, they're little, but they get after it.
Yeah.
And which I understand with you establish like that these they are a problem, But bro, man,
But where do you even go? And that was one of
That's-
our biggest gripes. Is like, where do you
Go
go
from
after
there.
Goblin rape?
That's kind of the issue with the show is that they went to a fucking 11 like out of the gate, and
Right.
like no other moment was like lived up to that. Like
Yeah.
as I was going through the shows, and I mean it's hard to say live up to that because it's awful
Yeah.
and like sickening, but like to get you don't get back to that level of drama on the show.
Because that's just how life is. When you think outside of rape, murder, and sometimes rape is considered worse than murder in a lot of
Yeah, 'cause you got to-
cultures.
Yeah.
yeah, because in some cases you gotta with rape, you gotta live with that for the rest of your life. And it's fucked up when you die, you die.
Yeah.
But at least like it's over.
Yeah, and then
Right.
with murder too, you can make a case for self-defense. Ain't no self-defense rape. Like you don't rape nobody in the defense of yourself. So it's like,
Right.
You don't.
Not to be funny, but that's true. You're not like, oh, it's like I forgot.
yeah.
Was it like a Chappelle joke or somebody saying like I gotta rape myself out here and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
or whatever. That's the truth. You can't. There's no reason for it.
no-
Yeah.
no
so I think
reason.
honestly, it's the top crime out here next to pedophilia. So it's like,
Yeah, those are the two. Yeah.
I remember we had somebody in the comments who was just like, I'm stopping listening to this show because you guys are doing fucking Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
And we were just like, you know what? Like, I get why you're mad.
yeah.
And like,
Come back after these episodes are
Yeah.
over. I'm not gonna. I
wouldn't have
wasn't
been-
opposed to that.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. But like, even looking at Goblin Slayer as like a whole, like, because nobody else has got any other Goblin Slayer moments like on their list, right? Am I right here?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. Like, because the other thing about that show, as I was thinking about, like, as I was going through these, like, what were my like favorite moments from these shows, and it's like. The best part of Goblin Slayer, like when it was kind of like at its peak, was that when he first got together with that group,
Yeah.
they went to that dungeon, and then he got like fucking smacked up a bench up against the wall,
Yep.
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Give me the potion, give me the scroll." And
That's
he cut
probably
that
one of
dude
my
in half.
favorite moments on the show.
Ugh.
Like Keenan was on fucking fire that day.
Yeah.
And I was dying laughing.
Bro.
Like I played that clip over so many times. Like, and I didn't have shit to do with the clip. So, but like he was like, "Bro, dog, give me something, dog."
Bro, that's the thing about that show was that the best moments was about the protagonist getting fucked up,
Getting
Yeah.
fucked up. Yep.
and
Yeah.
it was like, dog, this is wild. But
And it's funny too, cause like how Keenan edited it on the Instagram was fucking had me dying too, cause it'd cut to him just like fucked up, and then it cut back to like him. He's like, "Give me some potions or something." I fucking lost it.
dog, you know
Oh,
what's funny?
man.
I realized that the bad shows give us probably the funniest content.
I'd
Yeah.
agree with that because
Yeah.
like we laughed a lot at Gangsta. Like when we
Yeah.
were doing Gangsta, there was a lot of laughs.
A lot of
going
laughs going on. Dude was deaf and shit like that. It was just bad moments with the hooker. Yeah, I feel like the 3 or 4 bad shows that we consider actually, I think, all bad. We all were like, we got some jokes out of it. I think we needed it
Yeah,
for the
we
show.
had
We
to.
needed it. So
Yeah.
that was my third one. Go ahead, Ice.
I think my third favorite moment is how mad everybody got when we did our most overrated characters, and I talked about Trunks,
No,
and then that just sent everybody to fuck off. Specifically Keenan, and I think that was really one of the first times, because that was kind of the running joke for a while, is that like Keenan and I never went at each other, and we was usually on the same side. And I think that was a real turning point to where, like, honestly, from then forward, like Keenan and I haven't been on the same like accord with a lot of things unless Brendan comes into the picture. And I think that was funny to me, because everybody was like, "Yo, what the no?" Because everybody thought I was gonna have somebody,
Yeah.
and then
no. I said I knew you had Trunks. And I knew you were coming to the table with it. I rewatched the clip. I wasn't like that upset. I was kind of just like,
throughout the episode, you got like,
I mean, you weren't hearing it. You were
yeah,
definitely
you
not
could
having
not
his
fuck up.
arguments.
well, the only reason why I wasn't having the arguments was because I was like, it did make. I was like, make because this is where like Ice Logic started. Like it was just like logic that doesn't make any sense, right? It was like, how does this character fit here, but the character like Vegeta doesn't? Whereas this, because I don't have an issue with Trunks being overrated. I even said on there, I said I don't disagree with that he's overrated. I said I like Trunks because he's dope to me.
Yeah.
Like he's a dope character design, and he's my character. I don't think he's the best character. Fuck no, he's not the best character on Dragon Ball. That's crazy to say. But my thing was like, if you're gonna go off the points that you were making about no kills, no significant kills when he actually has some, but then Vegeta, who's considered the second best character or the best character on the show,
Right.
doesn't have any significant kills. That was my only argument.
But I feel like he did. I don't want to get all the way back into it, but like, I think for Trunks, how when you mention Trunks to anybody that watched Dragon Ball Z, their eyes light up. They go, but they always.
But who say he's the like they never say he's the best character in the sense of like what he's done. They say this because they like him. It's like if somebody likes Krillin because Krillin might be the or like Yajirobe because he's a comic relief. It's like it's in
but
that
I think
sense.
but then that favorite always kind of bleeds into like he's the best type of thing. Like not everybody, but some people was like I like him so much that I feel like he's the best, and then it's like the nostalgia thing kicks in, and then you just keep filling your head in with stuff that's really not true. But it's like I think people, I think how big Frieza was. And all the shit that Goku went through to fight him, and how many bodies that Frieza had, and then and how he, the Namek blowing up in 5 minutes, and then Goku damn near dying to kill him, and then for
Trunks
to come and make mincemeat of him like that.
Fool.
I think that resonates in people's head, but it's like. After that, he didn't do anything. But I feel like that was just such a defining moment.
Only moment that he had,
sure.
only moment that he had that was considered probably big and probably not to us, but was big to him, was going back to his future and beating the androids.
Right.
Because they literally damn near destroyed the whole human race.
Right.
So he had 2 significant moments that made sense in the show anyways. And I think, I would say that moment where Frieza is huge because we just watched that battle where Frieza go like, dog, we didn't know Goku's gonna get out of this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And literally this new guy comes in and is just like, bro, this is easy work.
Right.
We're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think we just let that
we
let that hold on too much, and I think we put that and then just growing up because I love Trunks too, but it's just like going back and looking at it, and then how he bitched out when he fought Cell, like that shit. I was just like that you overrated at that point because you got super swole. And then the fact that you didn't go out like a G, like your daddy was like, at least your daddy, he got his ass whooped too. Don't get me wrong, but he went out fighting. You just was like,
I would say this
fam.
about hybrid Saiyans because this happened with Gohan also, and then he had to get pushed. He ended up getting pushed to that point.
Yeah.
Hybrid Saiyans have half bitch in them. Maybe it's the human in them, the
I think
Earthling.
Yeah,
the
for sure.
Earthling in them is half bitch.
Yeah.
Gohan has those same moments.
Yeah.
Goten has similar moments. It's like the actual Saiyans don't have that moment. That's what makes them 100% a warrior race.
But not
whereas these two, like both of these guys have, Gohan has moments plenty of times where he's kind of just like, I just can't do it, guys. Like it's just like it's just moments that these guys have, and maybe that's the human in them that makes them that way.
But if you think about it too, Gohan only has one solid moment too. Like all of the half Saiyans only have like one solid moment where they're doing something. Like the Gohan, the Cell, like the father son Kamehameha, which to this day pisses me off that he just couldn't have his own fucking moment by himself.
That's just the writer's standpoint. That's terrible.
But he has that defining moment. He came back in the Buu Saga with the sword and all that shit, but still didn't do nothing. Just like Trunks came back in Super and tried to do something, but didn't do nothing. Like both of those guys had a bunch of almost moments that didn't pan out. Where
I think that's even the writer's standpoint. Like to move on right after this. Even with Trunks' part, it's like he beats Zamasu technically, or technically cuts him in half, right? And then all of a sudden the writer just goes, nah. We ain't gonna give him that shit. Yeah. And then it's like now Zamasu's in the sky. It's like that shit was whack as fuck.
It was,
right.
100%.
Whereas that whole saga was fire up until that particular point. I was just like, this is how y'all end this shit?
Yeah, this is true.
But I mean, that goes to show that Trunks is a fan favorite because they brought him back for Super in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, you know
and that's what I say. I say him being a favorite doesn't add up to him being a shitty character. Him being a favorite, I think, is character design and what he's done. But I don't, like I said, he's not the strongest. He's not the best when you break it down that way. That's what I never argued those points. I always argued how come if he's here, how come this guy's not here? Like Vegeta. My thing was Vegeta need to be right next to his ass if that's the point.
I feel like Vegeta's been there though, and he ain't never backed down. I think that's probably his saving grace.
And maybe that's what it is. He don't ever. Well, I guess this is
Broly was the only person I ever seen him like.
Not canon when again they don't call it canon, I guess, but when he bitched at it, like I just can't.
And I was so fucking pissed.
He was trash for that. You see the original Broly movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. You watched the original Broly. He was on a fucking tear. Like he was beating. In the original Broly movie, he fights everybody. Everybody gets worked.
He fucked up he grabbing
by their head, slamming cats in walls. It's crazier. It's way crazier.
Vegeta just standing there like,
Why are we even fighting this guy?
Yeah,
He's the legend. Why
I
are we
can't
fighting
do
him?
this. I'm not.
And even Piccolo goes,
That's
"You're a
fucking
fucking
lame.
disgrace, bro."
Right.
Saying, "Get the fuck out of here. Let real men fight."
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is lame.
Yeah,
That
so
That's his only. That and how he bitched out to Beerus too.
yeah,
when he
yeah.
first met him.
And then he ended up stepping up. But yeah, I think that's a great moment. That was a moment where, yeah, that might have been. Was that the turn where we didn't? After
yeah,
that,
and after that, we would still ride together on certain things, but then I felt like we got in a space of like, all right, cool. Like, it's really everybody at that point was just like
everybody's solo now. Everybody's like, fuck that. I'm for me.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, that overrated episode's still getting brought up. I mean, even in the chat this morning, people talking about fucking.
You got to come out. Where does this dude at? Where is his name?
I'm pretty sure this is probably the same guy that messaged me individually on Instagram. Who's just like, yo, man, like I don't know what you're talking about, saying Bakugo's overrated. I'm like, Bakugo's a spoiled little bitch.
Right.
Like, he's a fucking baby.
Andrew Perot.
Yeah. It's funny. My brother, he's not really in anime. He's kind of in anime, but his daughter started watching My Hero, and so he started watching My Hero, and he likes Bakugo because he's like his whole thing was like, yo, man. In all actuality, he's probably one of the smartest guys there. The way he calculates things are like he's very precision based, and he always gets shit done. And he is a top 3 guy, probably. When he technically will be number 1 because he won the tournament or whatever like that. Right. But Rob is just not.
Rob
and
is
he won the tournament getting fat off cupcakes and only beat Todoroki when Todoroki was only using half his power.
Yeah.
One of the only interesting things about Bakugo is that he didn't take that medal because even he knows that's chump shit.
Yeah.
That he's just like, no, I didn't win that at my best. I didn't beat my opponent when he was at his best. I don't deserve this. That's like the one thing Bakugo has done that I'm like, all right, respect to Bakugo. He shouldn't get that medal because he knows he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
My biggest thing about Bakugo is him screaming at 20%.
Yeah, that shit is tough.
Oh, he's like, and that's the thing. Like, it took fucking Bakugo 3 seasons to do what Inosuke on Demon Slayer has done in 1 season.
Yeah, just flipped it. Yeah, it changed the narrative.
Yeah, it was just like, dude, because if Bakugo stays where he is, he's just going to be Endeavor 2.0.
Right.
And it's like, he's just like, oh, well, Bakugo didn't go to the villains. Like, fucking Endeavor is a hero too.
Right.
And that dude beats his wife and is a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless like Bakugo's going to like finally be like, all right, like I'm not number 1. Like I got to find out how to be a role player. Like, just like, he's just a spoiled little bitch baby. That's all it is.
Bitch baby. I just saw that. I was looking at the reviews. By the way, review our shit.
Everybody, on all podcast platforms, leave a comment, leave a good one, give us some 5 stars. You know what I'm saying? But be honest too. Yeah. Leave us a comment. Whether it's on Google Play, I know iTunes has it, iTunes podcast, and on YouTube. Yeah. Always comment on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let us know what's cracking on there.
See our faces. Watch our videos.
Yeah, man. And I'm back on my Instagram grind for the page. So I'll be posting more for the animation page.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, Rob is about to tear this guy a new ass.
Yeah.
I mean, other people in the chat, Ty was going in on it. So that's why I was just like, hey man, you like I got here late. That conversation was going on at like 4 a.m. our time. I was like, I'm not awake for that. But I appreciate that we got people out here like our fans, our smart fans. Smart fans.
Yeah.
Okay, like you did your number 3 moment too, right? So we're going into number 2. Shit, I would say my number 2 moment is probably I'm gonna say the veteran episode on Megalobox. Like that was
man,
that was like
that shit was emotional.
That shit was maybe one of the best constructed episodes that we've seen on any show, I think, period.
Man.
Like, that was incredible. Like, I was definitely in my emotions, like, the whole arc.
Our show or our episode on that show, or are you talking about that?
No, that particular episode of
Megalobox
is maybe one of the best episodes, like, of anything that we've seen.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, the show is definitely up there for me. I think we've seen better stuff since, but at the time, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely seen other stuff that I think I've enjoyed more, but at the time, that episode, like that whole emotional arc with the coach and just like that dude just being like, oh, I heard you got a new dude. Like, I'm going to fucking destroy him.
Right.
And just like seeing his whole thing and, you know, seeing where he came from and like his backstory with the coach and how he felt so abandoned and all that.
With the bomb and all that shit.
Yeah. That shit was brutal, man.
That episode was brutal, but like one of the best written things I think we've watched.
Yeah, for sure.
That's going to be my number 2.
That shit was so like I remember when we talked about like watching Megalobox. I was like, Megalobox was like the reason why the show was so dope because anime wise for my anime, I was just like, it was cool.
Yeah.
But it didn't give me an anime feel.
Yeah.
It gave me a movie feel. I think I said that before. I was like, this shit feels like a movie.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt. I was like, God damn, I don't. Well, actually, the older I've gotten more emotional. I don't know why. I've turned into a hoe out here in these streets.
I'm still out here.
But
Same, man.
when you start hitting when you hit 30, when you hitting your 30s, for some reason, man, something just kind of tricks, man. Like you be like,
Yes.
so I remember watching that shit and maybe because I correlated stuff to like, you know, even though my dad he's good from the military and stuff like that, he didn't lose a limb or anything like that. My dad was in the military, and I know friends that I went to high school with that are not here anymore. They died giving their life for this shit.
Yeah.
So like it made me think back. It made me think to those moments. That's how when I watch stuff, it'll trigger moments like that for me, like actual moments that either happened to me or that I know it happened to a friend.
Sure.
And I have a big sense of sympathy and empathy.
Facts.
And
Yeah,
so
man.
I went to that moment. I was just like, fuck, man. I know friends that can't even see their families no more. And you know, I know people that are mentally fucked up from the military. I know, like my dad was at points he was having like night terrors where he would wake up swinging. Like that shit is wild.
Yeah.
So like that shit was very. I didn't have it in my top because I ain't gonna lie. Not that I forgot about it, but I was just like I was thinking just different moments, and I knew since you're a Megalobox guy, I knew either you or Ice would have a Megalobox moment in there, so we'll be able to talk about it. But yeah, that shit was.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that was up there. I mean, you're right, man. As I've gotten older, like you rip the headphones off, you definitely well up more, like cry during movies and shit like that. But
Yeah.
can't get drafted.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the
the
trade-off.
Yeah. Can't get drafted. All this shit going on right now too. We ain't gotta go deep into that shit. But fuck, this is
Fuck.
bro.
Fuck.
I'm in my 30s, so
I'm
they ain't
going
coming
back
after
to
me
school.
first. But
I'm going back to school.
God,
You're looking to a
damn.
master's degree.
Let me tell you
I'm gonna
something.
get another one. Let's go.
Anybody that has given their time and life to the service, I salute you.
Yeah,
And
much respect.
Much respect,
Much
man.
respect. We got some
And-
people in the chat that's went.
Mhm.
I made a joke
yeah.
like
I
my
know-
dad did 22 years. I'm good. He did enough for the both of us.
Yeah, I think
which is
Keith's
facts.
I think Keith's a Marine.
Yep.
Spider.
Spider,
Spider
yeah,
was.
a couple cats. Like, thank y'all for your service, man.
Yeah.
And whatever's
That-
cracking with.
That shit's crazy. Yeah. Anybody that goes over there and does that stuff, man. Even if you still here, you
Yeah.
know, I use respect. I don't know about reserves, y'all.
I'm out. I'm out.
Hey, man,
Reserve. I appreciate the thought.
the reserve gonna come over here and give you them hands. What? Give you them reserve hands. Gonna come over here on a weekend and whip your ass. They ain't gonna fight you on a weekday, but they come over here on a Saturday and whoop your ass. Watch.
I got time.
I got. But yeah, I mean, I can't stress enough how much I appreciate what y'all do for us.
Yeah. Number 2 moment. I would say for me is the Vinland Saga series as a whole. For me,
Yeah.
like reviewing that series. I mean, even though I picked it, that's not my style either. Of like, I didn't think I was just like, this is kind of like when I watched even movies like this about this time, I'm like, oh god, like that's why I hated the first Thor movie. If they didn't make Thor more charismatic and funny in the next ones, I would have tapped out on Thor.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just not that type of. I was just like, oh, this shit's boring. I hate that whole
The dude,
shit.
you know, we was just talking about Jojo Rabbit. The dude who made Ragnarok, he made Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, he did?
Mhm.
Oh, that's dope. That's
Because
super
they
dope.
literally brought him in because he
Mhm.
makes comedy stuff. Like they brought him in to make Thor more.
Ragnarok was one of the best Marvel movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot. That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
But just Vinland Saga as a whole, man, like that shit was emotional too. Like, just watching, because like I said, I'm reading the manga now, and this shit gets fucked up again. But it's like, just him, like, all right, watching you lose your father. Which is like, it's, honestly, for me, it's always something I thought about. Like, I feel like, man, I always thought about, like, if I lost my dad, am I ready to be a man yet? Even though I'm 34, I'm like, I'm 34, but I was like, I feel like there's still lessons that I haven't learned that I need to learn from my father.
Yeah.
So I always think about when I saw that, like I said, I always use empathy and tap back into that moment. But also him as a child, like, I remember when we first watched it and he had that screen.
blood rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was like, that shit gave me chills. I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
Yeah,
I
facts.
felt that voice actor. Whoever does the English version of it, if you don't tap into that same shit,
No, I want it.
yeah. And I understand I watch dub a lot, but I also respect sub more.
Yeah.
But you have to bring that rage he brought, bro. That shit was so like I was like,
you knew he was getting vengeance.
Yeah,
like,
he was
you
like,
heard every sense, all that pain in his voice.
oh man, and then oh man, you're not caught up ice, but shit.
I know. I
It's
feel
just-
like I got so much to say. I just caught up last night. Got so much to say. Some controversial opinions.
Yeah, but that whole series, that to me, Villain Saga is one of my favorite animes that we watched together as a crew, and probably one of my favorite in 2019 in general that I watched.
For sure.
It kept me consistent. I didn't want to turn it off. I wasn't like, oh, this is getting boring. I actually enjoyed the majority of episodes. I feel like they didn't give a lot of not spoilers. What is it? Filler.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they got to the shits, and I appreciated it, and I loved Thorfinn's progression. I love fucking Askeladd as I guess an antagonist / teacher sort of.
Yeah.
He's
thing.
probably my favorite character next to Thorkill.
I would say, Askeladd's
Yeah.
probably my favorite character on the show. Without saying too much about how it ends, I think one of the things I like is the most about the show is thinking back on when we were watching it and reviewing it. I remember when we started to get into like, all right, we're in Wales and stuff and learning more about Askeladd, and I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about Askeladd. I don't give a fuck about any of this Welsh shit.
Right.
Let's get back to Thorfinn. And honestly, by the end of the show, I'm just like, honestly, Thorfinn, like, move aside with your
right?
bullshit, because what Askeladd is doing is so much bigger than
Yeah.
your petty bullshit.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so like we can talk about it
Call
later,
his
maybe a
dad
little bit.
getting killed, petty bullshit.
I mean, but like honestly,
Yeah.
like,
But you can see him with the chess moves that he made, and how I thought it was cool how he stepped up to the king. They had all the arrows drawn on him and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was all like, I got this. Because Canute was about to get them fucked up.
Yeah.
Canute was
Yeah.
just came in there dick swinging like, nah, fuck you, Pops. Like, we about to take the throne. And Askeladd was like, chill. Hey, king. Fuck what he talking about. My
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
We got you. Give us England. Oh no, yeah, England and stuff. Like, give us all of that, and then we can break that up. And then he talked to him like, bro, like, we trying to take over this shit. Like,
Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think just how meticulous he is and strategic he is with that. Like, because he kind of lost his way a little bit with the whole Thorkill situation and moving in. He lost all his men.
right.
So I
Yeah.
think this was his like redemption time to like, no, I'm still a strategist. Like, don't get shit twisted. So I think I fuck with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good show because like even as much like, it was on my list and in my notes. I remember like just Thorfinn versus like that entire fort of full of French people. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that scene was fucking awesome. Like
It
Yeah.
was terrific.
jumping up the wall, like going for that dude's
And
head.
just
Like you got
cleared out. He says, "What I need, got it."
Yeah.
that whole scene was great. And then
Yeah.
and they're just about to leave without him, and he throws the head up on the boat. And he's just like, "We're
Bruh.
not leaving. Where's my duel?"
Yeah. Yeah,
man,
man.
that was crazy.
So,
And
yeah.
then to go to the duel and basically have Askeladd beat, but not had a mental capacity to finish the deal, and that just showed how cold Askeladd is
Yeah.
in war.
It's not about.
Yeah.
It's not just about physical superiority. It's about mental. It's about physical. It's about. It's you. Like I said, you could tell he knows the art of war.
Yeah.
Askeladd. So that was my number 2 moment. Go ahead,
Yeah.
guys.
My number 2 moment was really the Evangelion saga, more specifically the Mr. Me Too part. I think that
Everybody beat
fucking-
Mr. Me Too.
a little clips action, like
What the hell was that guy's name
I.
again?
I'm
gonna look it
what
up.
Was it?
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
look it up.
that back and forth and how Brennan just stood on that shit. Like he
Yeah.
basically how y'all say I'll just stand in, I stick my feet in the sand and just stay there. Like that was him for that
Yeah.
guy, and I was just like,
Here-
he was not going anywhere, and
He
we
really
weren't
wasn't.
having it.
Here's the thing about
Ryoji.
Ryoji,
Yeah.
aka Brennan.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about moments like that, and because I understood certain things that Brennan was saying.
No, Brennan definitely made some good points.
He made-
I'll cop to that.
Yeah, because I don't understand people like, well, how you can make a good point about Me Too movement? It's like, bro, if you understand like working in the workplace, some shit can be uncomfortable, but if two people mess around and it's
Right.
like if there's history there,
Right.
there's probably going to be a little bit more how they go at each other
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and how they even approach each other because there's history there.
It's the energy.
So I understand at some point where Brennan was coming from, but at some point I was like, bro, like you just
No.
can't.
Yeah, you can't just lock somebody in the elevator and press up on them.
No.
I don't care if
Right.
he fucked 1,000 times.
Right.
If they cut that shit off, that's it.
But
That's
then
dumb.
Brennan's point at that was like she kind of wanted it
Mm.
because she didn't stop it and she was with it and she went with it. She wasn't like it's like I gotta get out of here. She was kind of like, oh man, yeah, It was. I think he was trying to say like pretty much she was fighting herself more than she was fighting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which it was like, you know, I think as people, as emotional beings, we do that. It's like, yo, I might want to fuck with this person still, but maybe I shouldn't because of these reasons.
Right.
But it's like I'm still sexually drawn to this person.
Yeah. But I think just our argument was just the fact that he's moving like that. Like,
the fact that
you were maneuvering.
Aggressively.
You're trash, dog. You're Mr. Me Too.
I mean, because I'm not gonna lie, like Brennan made, like I said, some good points, especially with the context of their specific relationship.
Right.
Exactly.
But then there's
That's
the
what it
fucking
was.
scene with that other girl, and he's just like, hey, like, where are you going? Like, maybe I can like quiet you up with kissing your mouth. And it's like, what?
And that's what killed him.
Yeah.
The other moments, I'm not saying they
death.
weren't bad, but the other moments were like, people you could probably understand because of their history.
Right.
But that moment right there was like, oh, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
And the girl was like 12.
Yeah. And she was underage at that.
Yeah,
So it was just like, bro, that whole scenario. But Evangelion gave us so many just that's what opened up Rob's anger at a point.
Yeah.
And Ice and I just sat back and just said, well, let him have it. Like, I'm not joining.
You can go back and watch that clip. Keenan and I don't say shit.
We're just sitting there like,
I'm dying laughing. I'm fucking losing it.
You were just like,
I'm just going back and forth looking like
because stepping in at that moment takes away from that whole moment.
Yeah.
Like for them two anyways.
I remember that
the only
time
time
shit I forgot. I was just like
only time I stepped in, I think was like, all right, we have to move on.
Right.
That was it. But other than that, I was like, I gotta let this shit ride for a good 5 minutes. I have to let it
which
ride.
It was all of 5 minutes. Like, I'm engaged. I was like, hey, that's it. That is
Who
it.
are you? And then he was like, it wasn't Rob considered like the HR guy here or something like that? Or closest to it?
Yeah, because of his name.
And Brennan being the all-powerful, like, pretty much CEO here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you use your power out here, Brennan, huh? Wouldn't you? Piece of shit.
That's why I can't say like, man, I disliked Evangelion all that much because like we got some good talks out of it.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's what the show like.
Absolutely
It definitely brings up like some good talking points. We got some good conversations. Would I watch it again? Probably not.
No, absolutely not.
They got another one coming out apparently in 2020. So like,
I think too is the Shinji a bitch. I think Brendan and I went back and forth about that a lot. I think the dialogue around that was
big.
really good because he's a bitch. He's a bitch, and I think
I don't think that was even like I think we all agreed. I think because I think even with this, the Shinji's a bitch thing. That's why it has so many dope moments. Also, too, when it got brought back up, like I said, I think the consistency of Ice's comments. This is what we more debate about. It's like, all right, I'll stick with you with that. That's fine. That's your opinion, right? Because we can argue about opinions, but it's just opinions. But then keep the same energy. Because I think I forgot who we brought up. I think we brought up
Zenitsu.
Was either Zenitsu or somebody else recently. What did we just finish watching?
Oh, we talked about Canute too.
Canute, but we talked about Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah,
like
Kaneki.
he was
Kaneki.
He's like he was a bitch ass motherfucker too. And then Ice was kind of like, nah, I mean, not really.
I said he was, but then he got active though.
But then
like he
and
knew
Brendan's argument was so did Shinji, which it took longer probably, but he got it done.
But barely, and to the point where like the Evangelion had to take over for him.
Barely or not,
such a bitch.
It still gets done. So I would categorize those two guys at least in his first season, because you said second season he turns up, but first season and at the end of the first season he turned up too.
Yeah.
But like all the way leading up to that, they are to me damn near the same motherfucker.
He's and I think it's the Bakugo effect too. Is like, granted, Kaneki is bitching out, but he's just like, I don't want, like, he's like low key with it. This man Shinji is fucking crying and screaming at the top of his lungs about not wanting to do it. But Kaneki's just like, I'm good, fam.
But also too, the stakes with them two are
I was gonna
different.
say like that the reality of his situation
is way harder.
Is fucking
bro.
crazy.
Like
the survival of the human species.
Yeah, he
is
had to
on
worry
your
about
back.
that small little pocket of whatever over here. It hasn't even got to the world necessarily. So and he has people helping him and be like, we can help fight for you, we can defend you. Ain't nobody really defending Shinji. He got to defend everybody.
I mean, and that's understandable too, but you still don't go out. And the weight on your shoulders as a main character, you can't do that. Like when you think of main characters in anime and how they are built, granted, you don't want every main character to be cookie cutter, Goku's, Naruto's, save the days, Tanjiro's and stuff. But like at the same time, like, you got to be with the shits. And I understand development, but they waited way too long for him to,
I agree with that.
Like, to come up and do something. And then even that time, he didn't want to do it, and the people around you, and not to say women are not as powerful as men and stuff, but you got to think about this. Like in the 90s, like women weren't, how they were perceived. So you have a woman that's basically like, fuck it, you have two women that's with the shits more than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, bro. Like, you got to step up at that point. So it's like, he just bitched out like, oh, I don't want to do it. And you know what's at stake. Like, fuck it. I gotta get after it.
Women gonna definitely get at you for that. That's hilarious. Like,
Women,
they're just not like,
I mean, but something like that, and just how from a perspective and how the culture was.
Well,
at
yeah.
that time,
I know what you're saying. And it's like, but some people are just not even just on a male or female base. You just cut from a different cloth.
Yeah.
You go through different things. He was cut from a cloth where he was just brought up as a bitch ass motherfucker.
Bitch, yeah. And there's two other people. Yeah.
And they were brought up in the sense of like, yo, I'm gonna be. I went through some shit as a young.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean, you think about Rei and Asuka, really, like, both of them were, like, raised as soldiers. And Shinji was just, like, yanked out of, like, junior high and just like, all right, dude, you're up.
Yeah,
like,
with no
fuck?
nothing. They were raised like, especially
his dad is trash.
His
dad is trash.
Horrible.
Maybe the worst anime dad we've seen so far, and that says a lot.
Yeah, that says a lot.
Oh, we gotta go. We'll go into that discussion.
Yeah,
at another
that is a topic.
All right, go ahead to your number one, Rob.
My number one, I'm gonna say, it's just a character from a show that we watched this year. Basically, anytime he was on screen, he was the best. I'm gonna give it to Reagan from Mob Psycho. Reagan on Mob Psycho is my number one anime moment character. Like, that dude is so fucking great. Like, even like the way they ended season 1 with, like, you think Mob's gonna explode, and especially like I thought like when he got hit with that sword, I was like, oh, he's fucking like he's done.
Yeah.
But like, no, he just comes back with all Mob's powers and just like it's just like, oh shit, like I guess he is psychic.
Yeah, right.
And like
yeah.
Reagan is amazing.
But like he's like, and the fact that he's like, he's not as good as Askeladd, like as far as like a teacher or a guidance guy, but he's definitely better than the coach from from Megalobox.
That backdoor,
but like
back alley trainer.
Yeah, so like he just he's trash because he's such a con man, but at the same time, like he does have Mob's like best interest.
I think the turning point for me, and I liked him in before this, but like the turning point for me to really like Reagan is when he came into the with the vases, the
vase shop,
vase shop, and he was like, oh, you did this. It's another $1,000. This way, you're fucking ugly. So that's another $1 million. Are you doing this? And they was like, no. Like, he kind to have Mob's back. Like, I thought that was so dope.
That was so great. But my favorite moment overall is when, like, they're in that big psychic showdown in the compound or whatever, and he's just like, stand back, I got this. And he's like, psychic punch, and just starts punching people.
Yeah.
They caught him off guard. Like, I lost it. Like,
Pow! Yeah,
and we talked about anime funny moments, and like I know for me, I'm not a big anime humor guy when it comes to this stuff, but he had me legit laugh out loud at multiple moments. Now I really. At first, I was just kind of like, and then like I think probably by like the second or third episode, I was like, man, this motherfucker funny, man.
He won me over.
He won me over pretty quickly too.
Yeah. That's why I keep talking. I was telling Ty that in the chat, like just like he said he didn't like Reagan. I'm like, bro, Reagan is the fucking best character on the show.
MVP.
He saved because since Mob is so dull, it's like he saves. And Mob is funny too because Mob's mad petty. He's just like. So he's funny too, but it's like that balance of like that kind of like just this whatever petty humor to like just flat out like like
drop kicking, like who the fuck drop kicking people,
just
like,
conning the whole fucking spirit realm, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's just absolutely hilarious,
and he's the weakest out of everybody.
Yeah.
And he still manages to hang around.
That's that's why I just love that moment. It's just like everybody's got their big psychic powers, and he's just like running up and uppercutting dudes. Like,
who's watching the second season? Because every time I go to watch something, I see it.
I think it's Brennan.
Brennan's probably watching it.
I really want. Honestly,
that.
I mean, are we doing our top 3 shows too?
No. I mean, I probably don't have enough time.
Okay,
we're just doing moments. We could do top 3 shows.
I just want to say, that's my number one show that we watched.
That's up there.
I love
it's up there for sure. My moment, another moment, my number one moment is just honestly also as a whole is Demon Slayer, man. I know that's probably an obvious answer, but like Demon Slayer gave me that feeling back of like and for like Full Metal Alchemist, like I feel like it has the potential of being one of my favorite. I know Brendan be like, it's the best ever already. I'm like, I can't give it that quickly, but it has the potential of being.
Especially after reading the manga. I'm not too sold on the anime yet, but
Well, I don't. I mean, and me personally, I don't like when Ice keeps saying he's not sold on the anime, which makes zero sense to me because the manga is the anime. It's literally the same thing. Nothing has really changed.
Okay.
No, I'm saying after that. Like the first season, I'm not sold on it, but I wanted to keep checking it out. Now the manga moving forward, like from the movie on, if they do it page by page, I'ma fucking love the anime. But I wish they should, which they have up until then. But I fucking love the mangas. After like the movie with the fire dude,
Yeah, his moment.
yeah, Pillar, that shit. From then on, I would love that anime because I'm gonna love to see that in color. But just that season, I just felt like they was checking boxes.
So are you saying like if they could still potentially go the way of like a non-Brotherhood, like Full Metal Alchemist,
Oh, yeah,
if they
yeah.
decide to change up things?
And
it
then
could
I
do that?
won't.
Well,
Yeah.
well, and but they did that in Brotherhood because of they went past the manga because
Yeah.
they passed the manga. The manga wasn't caught up yet. The manga for Demon Slayer is pretty much much finished, almost finished.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
hopefully there's no chance
yeah,
of that
there's
happening.
No
Yeah,
chance of that
yeah.
happening. But Demon Slayer, it just gave me that feeling because I mean, like I think it had its stereotypical check boxes, but it still had super fire moments. It still did what it had to do animation wise. I love the sibling love and the sibling like just I'm gonna do this for my brother because I feel like when you have a sibling, I have a sibling, so I have an older brother. Like I feel like that's how me and my brother would be. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of like we would go hard for each other,
Right.
no matter the circumstance.
If you turn into a demon.
Yeah, my brother wouldn't be like, all right, just kill this nigga. He'd be like, all right, man, let's try to figure some shit out. Is there a way we can stop this first?
Right.
But just the animation of that show, the moments, Zenitsu was annoying at points, but this motherfucker was just he had so many
He's my
dope
favorite
moments
character. Yeah.
that just he came through.
Mhm.
I love the water pillar. He's super dope. He's super calm and collected. When he came through and just chopped off Rui's head, like he
Yeah.
walked through it. He's giving cats problems. He walked through like, and
That's
ended it. It was
Yeah.
like, all right, bro, it's time to get up out of here, man.
Yeah.
But that shows you how powerful he is. But then when y'all start watching, if you start reading the manga, you realize
It's next level.
these real demons,
They-
the lowers, these motherfuckers are no goddamn joke.
The lower moons when they fight the pillars.
Bro. Because I'm thinking the pillars going to be giving them problems. Bro.
I feel like the pillars are are like
Oversold.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
oversold.
really? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They're oversold.
They're
I
super
think to a
oversold.
point.
To a point.
To a point.
But they get
active.
They get active.
Ain't
and
no
they earn their strike. They show you why they a pillar.
Right.
Right when you like, why you a pillar? Then they like,
Okay.
oh, I'm a pillar for this reason.
Yeah.
And you like,
Okay,
okay,
I got you.
all right.
Yeah, ain't no bitch in none of them.
No.
Like, the women are super dope in this motherfucker. When you get to their
They
moments
probably
in the
the
anime,
strongest ones.
dog, they have a fire
The
moment.
bug pillar alone, just from what we've seen in season 1, like you can tell she doesn't fuck around. Like when she
Yeah.
traps down that one spider girl,
Oh,
it's just
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna kill you slow. It's gonna be great.
Oh,
Right.
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, she's
She-
diabolical.
She has a dope moment. Oh man,
Yeah,
it's
she's
it's
cold.
so
all
it's
of
so
all of the
cold.
pillars are dope. They
Yeah.
have their moments, but them, especially when they get in the upper moons,
Yeah.
I'm
they
looking forward to
fucking
it.
Next level.
Demon Slayer, I also really enjoyed the first season. It was it wasn't. I don't think I had any moments in my top 3, but I really enjoyed that show. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I can definitely see now why, especially watching Tokyo Ghoul. Like it's not necessarily doing anything new, but it's just well done. Like
Yeah.
it's a well-oiled machine. The
Yeah.
story moves. Like I said, it does a lot in its first season that a lot of other shows sometimes take a long time. So maybe
The
that's
whole
why it
training
feels
montage.
Yeah.
why it's like checking boxes. But I feel like we're at a point now where we can move forward and break new ground and do new shit that I'm really excited to see.
Yeah.
It's kind of like now you said. I think it's a lot like Tokyo Ghoul in the sense of I think they Tokyo Ghoul took a little bit longer to build their world,
Right.
Yeah.
But they're just like, hey, this is where we're at. Now let's turn the fuck up, and that's
Right.
where they like Demon Slayer the first season built the world, let you know the players, and then the manga fucking turned the fuck up. Like that
Yeah.
movie, I don't know how far into the movie they're gonna go. Probably that whole
Just that
train
whole
thing.
part, yeah.
It's amazing.
It should be all about action in that
Yeah.
movie. It should be no bullshit.
It
in there.
starts
Yeah.
off slow
Yeah.
for like 2 seconds, but
Yeah.
then it just
It
gets
turns up
after
and it doesn't stop turning up.
Do we know when
Not
that
at
comes
all.
out?
It's 2020
Sometime
sometime
this
I
year.
think.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometime
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year now.
Cool.
But that's why I loved it because I felt like it got through the moments in the pacing that it did,
yeah.
and I feel like all the characters like Inosuke and Zenitsu, they fit perfectly. I love even though he's kind of like a Bakugo 2.0 to a point.
Yes.
he got annoying, but I liked him about his action.
Yeah.
You know, Inosuke. So
Yeah,
like,
but he turned, like Rob said, he got funny where it's like, okay, now you comic relief.
yeah, he
you
has
know-
calling cats
yeah.
the wrong name and shit like
Yeah.
that. It's just mad hilarious to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Demon Slayer had me laughing too.
Demon
like,
Slayer had me laughing
with the
too.
wrong names. Zenitsu had his moments like when he's just like, "You've been traveling with this girl this whole time. Like, I have to kill you now."
Yeah.
like
Right.
that had me laughing. I
Yeah.
The
mean,
sword dude, the dude that makes his swords, that shit was funny
Yeah,
too.
he's
How
funny throughout
cracked
he
me.
has moments throughout the manga.
even
Yeah.
like right at the beginning when fucking Tanjiro's just like, the guy's just like, "Nah, you can have this free rice," and he like slams the
Yeah.
coin down into his
Yeah.
hand so hard. He's like, "No, you take this." I was like, "All right, this show's it's gonna be kind of funny."
Yeah, and
Um,
then you know, just getting to the main character, the main villain, and seeing him and how
Michael Jackson.
and he was rolling up on him
Yeah,
like, I'm about
Thriller.
to kill this dude, and he was just like, "Yo, wait a second, this
Yeah.
motherfucker. There's something about this dude."
Yeah.
So
You turn back like, what you say, bitch?
yeah, you want to get this work right now, but yeah, that's my number one moment. Just the most memorable, I guess, number one memorable moment of like enjoying the anime the
Yeah.
whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Ice. What's your number one?
My most memorable moment for me is I don't even remember what we were watching, but I just remember like okay, so it's when everybody was fucking dying. So then it's like when we was when Brennan was talking about like how I brought up first, it was like special needs people are strong as fuck, and then like they be doing shit, and then Brennan was telling a story about how one of the dudes in his neighborhood had on a Green Ranger mask and fucking robbed the ice cream truck. And then I was cracking up about that, and then I was like, what is he doing now? And he was like, he's in jail now. And then I'm like, for what? And then you two didn't hear it. And then he was like, something statutory. And I was like, like I'm laughing and stuff,
Yeah.
and he said, I'm like, whoa, like, oh shit, no, you didn't hear it.
Yeah,
Rob
'cause
and
I
I
remember
heard
we were
it.
just
Yeah,
like-
Rob and I heard it, and we was just like, what the fuck? And then Keenan was like, what happened? And then I'm like, he was like, I was like, nah, we can't. I was like, I'm not repeating that again. He's like,
Yeah.
no, what happened? I'm like, he was on his R. Kelly. And then Keenan was like, oh shit. And then all three of us fucking losing, myself, Rob, and Brennan fucking lose it. And
Oh,
we're
man,
dying.
yeah.
And I think the funniest part of that is like Rob trying to come back, and he's like, all right, so, and then he's like, because I'm fucking next to him just dying laughing, and he could not keep it together. Like that was one of the first times I saw Rob. Usually he'll laugh for a second and then get right back
Get
to it, but
composed,
like
yeah.
he could not keep it together.
Yeah, as I was like expecting like some nunchaku related crime, and he's just
Yeah.
like, "No, it was like statutory rape." I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
never mind."
man.
Anyway, we got to come back from
Right.
that.
He did it. He tried 3 times until he was just like, "Fuck it," and
I
he
think
just
that was
he
Tokyo
just
Ghoul we
started-
were watching. I don't remember.
it
what
was
time.
It was
was
something
before
earlier,
that.
yeah.
Was it?
It was
Alright.
way earlier than that, yeah.
Fuck.
I was fucking dying laughing. Brennan was both of us were out of the screen because we was laughing so much.
I think at that moment too, the R. Kelly thing not just didn't have. I think that like the finding or whatever
Finding R- yeah,
R. Kelly whatever
yeah.
it was, it's called.
Yeah.
At that moment, that documentary had just been released within like a
Yeah.
month or two of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So that's why I was so like prominent to like to mention that. Goddamn.
My bad. I forgot y'all.
Outside the mic, bro. He's
My bad.
We're making moments in 2020 already.
already, man. I don't even know what time we're at right now. Oh, 52 minutes. Okay. Yeah. That's. I mean.
I think we should give an honorable mention. I don't think you were here for Princess Mononoke, right?
No, I
That
wasn't,
was our
yeah.
first 9,000 out of 9,000. Brennan gave it the
Yeah.
perfect score.
Mm.
I mean, we really all like that movie a lot.
I
That was
enjoyed that.
I
movie a
watched
lot.
it again. I watched it probably in 2017, and I was like, "This shit still holds up.
Yeah.
It's still good. She was dope." I probably want to watch it again because I actually think my lady would like that
Yeah.
that specific anime. But
Because we only watched 3 movies: Broly, Akira, and
right, and we're gonna
that's
watch.
a
We're gonna watch. I'm gonna watch that My Hero one still.
yeah.
But yeah, Princess Mononoke. I'm sure. I won't be surprised if it's in the top moment because it's a dope ass movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
Our
but-
conversation around the Broly movie was really good.
Yeah, it was cool to go
and,
see
and,
that.
Yeah, and I understand we pick. I probably pick more moments about the animes instead
Yeah.
of like just actual action moments of us having talking. So I'm why we're glad we had different takes on different things.
Yeah.
I'm sure Brent's gonna have his
I just remember, like, anytime that the ones that stick out to me is just when we're all dying laughing. Like,
cracking up.
when we were fucking talking about, no, I'm just, Brennan was talking, Keenan was talking about Brennan's head, and we was calling him Diglett and shit.
Oh
And then
man,
he was like, dickhead. Like, and then we just kept making dick puns about his head. Keenan and I was fucking destroying
we're on
Brennan.
fire. This it's one of those moments when somebody gets roasted and it's just your moment. You gotta just eat that. You gotta just be like, all right,
All
this is-
right,
Take it.
you can't just
I was like, stop being such a dick about it.
But you guys, man, the fans, man, what are y'all favorite moments from the podcast from 2019? I understand y'all have your favorite moments from your own anime.
Yeah.
Put both. Give us your favorite moments from the podcast from us and the anime that we watch, and just your favorite moments in general from us, funny moments or whatever. And then what are y'all favorite moments from the anime that y'all watch, man? Leave it in the comment section.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably post a clip about this on the YouTube. I mean, on the Instagram, so y'all can even put it under there, comment under there,
Favorite moments.
or put it on there. What's it called? On our YouTube page, stuff like that. So
Talk about the podcast.
yeah,
please.
talk about the podcast. Spread love to the podcast.
Yeah.
Some of y'all telling y'all people we get new fans like every single day, man. So we appreciate that shit. So we thank y'all for watching, man. You want to drop y'all stuff, Rob? Go ahead.
Yep, RV Danger on Instagram. You can message me there if you got any problems with my opinion on Bakugo.
If you want smoke with Bakugo,
Rob is
RV
the
Danger on
RV Danger.
social media, he wants it.
He wants all the smoke. Ice.McGowan on Instagram. I've been chatting with a lot of people. I wish I can put everybody in the chat. We still trying to figure out like a Discord or something else we can do to make a
It
bigger
probably-
chat.
Honestly, it probably won't happen. 'Cause
Yeah.
just putting everybody in it, it's gonna be chaos.
Yeah,
I think
it's chaos already.
It's already
Yeah.
chaos. So
It's
like
pretty chaotic.
everybody can always comment on the animation page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dialogue through there.
And with dialogue, we will comment on there. But having a group chat with it, it's gonna be right.
And we've been talking. I've been talking to a lot of people on inside messages. Don't ever think. I know one of the people's like, "Hey, you probably get tired of me hitting you up." Like, no, like I would never get tired of having a conversation with you about anime. So like, please keep. I'll have conversations about anything with you guys. I love it. Everybody else love it. Please review. Give us one just to give y'all perspective about things too. Like everybody's been talking about, oh, we want you to go to expos. We want you to go to this. Like when we try to go for these things, the first thing they say is like, what your numbers looking like?
Yeah.
Like
So-
who listening? Who reviewing your shit?
Exactly.
So it's like. Do
Y'all
that
gotta
so
ha-
we can see y'all.
We giving y'all the content. So give us, y'all gotta come back, give us a number. Spread word of mouth, man. Spread the love, man. Tell y'all friends that love anime, man. No matter who it is, just tell them, man.
Yeah.
And like you said, give us those high ratings so we can get to these expos, and we know we gonna represent for y'all when we go to these expos.
Right.
Yo, y'all the animation squad with us. So when our
Family.
name is out there, y'all with us. Y'all fucking with us. So yeah, definitely leave that. My name is Keenan Banker on every single thing. I appreciate everybody that hits me up individually. Also, man, y'all be showing mad love. Some of the anime I'm actually checking out that y'all told me to check out individually. Y'all be like, yo, check out this one and that
Gurren
one.
Lagann, I'm watching that right now. It's dope.
Yeah, I got hit with Gurren Lagann, and I was just like,
It's dope, bro.
it's a mech, right? And I was
Yeah.
just like, mech. But yeah, I might get to it. But make sure
I
y'all
heard
leave
that's a good one.
I heard it too. But leave y'all comments in the comment section what y'all best moments was during the podcast and stuff like that. And we'll see y'all next week. And thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of AnimeSHUN.
And so anime was solved forever.